Hello, welcome to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, a real estate investor, consumer advocate, author, and managing partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at templarcashforhouses.com. That's TEMPLAR cashforhouses.com. That's one word. Or you could call us at 973 240 8593. Again, that's 973 240-8593, and we can answer any questions you may have. Or you could email us from our website as well about any questions or if you want something discussed on this radio show. For first time listeners, my company is a real estate investment firm. We buy houses for cash, we purchase apartment buildings, we do joint ventures with other real estate investors. We loan money for rehabs and provide transactional and gap funding as well. We work with individuals that want to invest with us in single family houses up to apartment buildings. We do not speculate and we're very protective of our money and our investors' money. I'm not an agent, we're not a brokerage, but I have individuals on staff that are agents that will sell your house through the traditional multiple listing service. This show is going to go over everything there is about real estate and those things that impact real estate. We'll talk about our rehabs, some of our investments, what went well and what did not go well, especially on that side. We'll talk about the economy and interest rates. We'll discuss trends in the real estate market. Real estate is one of your biggest investments, so it's important you know as much as possible about it. I will provide you with my opinion. It's only my opinion. I ask everyone to do research on everything in terms of any services they want to engage in. It doesn't matter if it's on the real estate side or some other side. Always do your homework and always, even when you get references, ask lots of questions about those references. I talk about that every week. What one person might like, another person might not like. So you really got to understand what people like about the individual or the company and what they don't like. And, sometimes it's a good question to say, what can they do better? And then that'll open up uh, in terms of some of the issues they might have. And they might look over some of those issues, whereas you might say, well, that's not something I could look over. So it's very important to do that. I'll do a shout out, as usual, to some of my favorite listeners that are always with me, as well as new ones. You always hear about Paulette, the crossing guard from Livingston, as well as Tim from Cedar Grove. Additionally, I'd like to welcome Jane onto the listening. She's a new listener, so welcome aboard, Jane. I'd also like to thank my private investors that are always supportive of our company and the investments they give us. So I'd like to thank them as well. Again, if you need to sell your house fast, please give us a call. We could buy it for cash or we could list it through the traditional multiple listing service. We get calls all the time. What areas do you service? So, we buy houses in New Jersey. It's a very broad term, but we buy throughout the state. If you look on our website, it says we buy houses in New Jersey, but I always still get the question, you know, do you buy in Jersey City? Yes, we buy houses in New Jersey City. We buy houses in Somerville. We buy houses in North Jersey. We buy houses in South Jersey. We buy houses in Central Jersey. So we buy them throughout. Uh, if you're looking, for a cash buyer in New Jersey that wants to buy your house, please give Templar a call. Okay. Another thing is we had Hurricane Ida, so there was a lot of individuals got flooded. We've been getting a lot of calls about houses that have been flooded and they want to sell their house now. And a lot of them say, we've never had floods before. I had one person call me up from Princeton. She said she had a $7 million house, and she just wanted to get rid of it. But when I was talking to her and I looked up some information on it, I think 7 million was really, really, really pushing it. I think it was probably worth like 3.5 million. Because I was looking based on the size and everything else, there was nothing even on the market that was close to 7 million. She had like 4 acres of property, and I was looking at another house that was about 5.5 million. They had like 50, literally, I think it was 50 acres. It was huge. So I think she was overestimating her property value. Also, if you're interested in investing with us, you could find us at investwithtemplar.com. That's www.investwithtemplar.com. That's INVESTWITH Templar, TEMPLAR.com. Okay? And we'd be more than happy to talk to you. You could sign up there. We could have a meeting, come into our office, and just talk. And nothing's binding or anything. It's just a discussion. We'll also go over, if you are interested in investing passively, even not with us, we'd be more than happy to go over, the criteria to look at from single family up to different apartment complexes. Okay, so please give us a call on that. As I say every week, mortgage forbearance is ending. If you need assistance, please give us a call. We could just provide just some general assistance, or if you're interested in selling, obviously, we could help you sell your house. Okay, so again, mortgage forbearance, now that it's coming off, eventually they're going to be doing evictions or really foreclosures. So please, please be proactive with this because the clock is ticking on this, and you could do a loan mod. But again, loan mods are really, really tricky, and most of them are really not in your benefit. It's in the bank's benefit, and in the end, it really hurts you. You might reduce the payment a little bit, but they're putting all the fees and everything else on the back end, and all of a sudden, uh, your mortgage was 300,000, now it's 350. So sometimes there's no equity left in the house the way they do it. So I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them in terms of the bankers. Please, please. Speaking about floods, so I have to say, I always talk about one of my favorite restaurants. It's Basilico. It's located in Millburn. I received it was a video from my ex-wife. She was saying, "Look at this," and it was a video of the main street in Millburn, and it looked like a river when Hurricane Ida was going through. And I looked closely at it, and I saw the exact location. I said, "The guy that's videoing this, right behind him is Basilico." And a day later, I looked and I saw that the restaurateur, Mario, from Basilico was on TV. And he was saying that this is the third storm that he just got obliterated in. And they were showing pictures of his kitchen and stuff. His kitchen is in the basement, and um, it was just submerged in water. They pumped it out, but it was forget about it. And he says with COVID, and this is everything he went through with COVID, not him personally catching it, but the loss of money from it, and this third time around, he's probably not opening up. And I was just very bummed on it because it was just such a great restaurant. And I said to myself, and I spoke to someone on this while it was pouring, and I heard about some of these things going on with, floods. And I said, some of these restaurants, if they get flooded out, they're not coming back. If they got hit with COVID and went through all this COVID, everything with COVID, and now they're flooded. I says, I don't think they're coming back. The ones that are getting hit bad like this. And unfortunately, Basilico was one of them. So we'll see. I hope they do come back. And we'll see, though. It's a real shame. Next thing I like to talk about is, a lot of times I tell you about the different challenges we have. So, of all the transactions we do, probably about 5%, maybe even less, are problem childs. I usually do not talk about the deals that go so well because most of them go well and there's really nothing much to talk about. The basic thing is that we do a walkthrough of the house. We'll provide a what we're going to pay for the house if we come to an agreement. Basic contract is sent to the seller's attorney, and we close in X amount of days, whatever that is. We buy it as is. There's not much to it. It's really a really simple, streamlined process. People leave what they want to leave. People take what they want to. When they leave, if they accidentally put a hole in the wall, moving some of the furniture, I'm not going to say anything. We just don't. But the ones that aren't like that usually have lots of issues, and they just do. Sometimes because of the attorney, and those are some of the worst ones because they are the focal point for the seller, and it's just such a challenge. Or even when we're selling a house for the buyer, and that's where always the challenges are. It's never anywhere else, you know. We do have some challenges with structural issues that come up, things like that. But for the most part, a lot of it's attorney related and just some other things with townships, challenges like that. So I've been talking about this one house we purchased. It has solar panels on it. The lease that was given to the homeowner, it was an elderly couple, and it was really a bad lease. On the solar panels, it was the monthly fee was high. It was gradually going up in price every other year, and with solar panels, as time progresses, their efficiency decreases, so they become more inefficient slowly. So even though the price is going up for the lease, they might be pulling more off the grid because the solar panels can't keep up with the electric demand of the house. In addition, usually, if you purchase solar panels, you get a tax benefit of that, a write off. And because it's a lease and you don't own the solar panels, you can't take that deduction. So there's nothing positive out of it. Second of all, when you sell the house on this lease, either you'd have to pay it outright, which was 40, $50,000 depending on what time, where in the lease it was. The total amount I think was 60,000 for the lease, and that was over like 20 years. So that's part of it. Another part is that if the other homeowner wanted to take over the lease, then they'd have to be qualified as well. So as I said before, it's just a lousy lease. I called up the company and I said to them that I'm the new homeowner, and then they tell me, well, you have to pay for the lease. You have to start paying. I said, I'm not paying. I didn't sign the lease. So you're not going to tell me to do that. I was in the driver's seat with this. I wasn't going to let them walk over me and my company on that. I spoke to a gentleman and said, take off your solar panels. I don't want them. And he delayed getting back to me weeks, and then he got back to me, and then he said, well, let's do another lease. what are you interested in paying? And I gave him some bills from a previous house, approximately the same size. It was a couple $100 per month, I think, in electric bills. And right now, the previous homeowner was paying like three something. So it was a big difference. And afterwards, he really didn't address it. And I kept saying, I want the panels off or I'm going to take them off. And he said to me, well, you're going to void the lease, avoid the warranty. And I was like, so what? I don't want the panels. I don't care. And I told him also, I said, take off the solar panels. I said, they're already about 4 years old. I said, good luck trying to sell used solar panels that are 4 years old. I said, everybody's going to want the newer solar panels that are more efficient, smaller, so on and so forth. And throughout our conversations, he always just said, well, these are our solar panels. And I kept saying, well, they're on my roof. And I was thinking about it, and I told him that it's in my best interest that we resolve this beforehand, or I'll take them off because I'm going to sell the house shortly after I rehab it. And he said that, well, basically, that the new homeowner could give the name to them and they'll negotiate with them. And I said, no, that's not the case. I'm not doing it that way. And it's not going to be for a month and a half, 2 months. So I sent that back to him, and then he responded with another email. And I'm coming up on a break, so I'm going to break right here and then I'll be right back, okay? So, again, if you want to reach us, you could call us at 973-240-8593. We'll be right back. Thank you very much. Hello, welcome back to the Templar Real Estate Talk Show. My name is Joseph J. Zoppi, Managing Partner of Templar Real Estate Enterprises. You could reach us at 973-240-8593 or templarcashforhouses.com. Thank you very much. So, as I was saying, I was going back and forth with this one solar panel company, and they wanted to really negotiate with the new homeowner because they were not getting anywhere with me. And I told them that's unacceptable, and I don't have a buyer as of this time anyway. It was probably about a month and a half, 2 months away. And they said they would want me to sign the current lease and then we could negotiate a price after that. And they're just playing games because there's no way I'm going to sign the current lease and then negotiate afterwards. I have no leverage on that. So I kept thinking about it, and when you're in a negotiation, one of the biggest things is to understand certain things with the other party in terms of what's important to them and what they don't like, things like that. It's very, very important to really, really understand that. So they kept talking about that it's their solar panels, but they're not reacting right now in terms of taking them off or doing anything else. They know that I want to sell the property eventually, and I pushed that to show that I had a sense of urgency. But they're not pushing it as a sense of urgency. And I don't think that I should keep those panels on if it's in a state of flux, because the new homeowner might be resistant to take the property. And I'm debating back and forth on this because I could say, here, you have the solar panels, you're not going to be paying anything for it. And this is where I'm at now with the solar company, or I could take them off if you want. And that's where I might be leaning. But I just sent a certified letter to the solar company and I put it at this. I said to them that I gave you two options. One is to take your panels off my roof, and you haven't done that. Or I asked for a lease based on my terms, and you haven't done that. And the lease was basically, I reiterated it and I filled in a couple blanks, which I was a little vague on originally with them. And I said I only wanted to pay like $125 a month. Uh, right now, I think the previous owners were paying like $350. And I said that's based on the current usage for another property I have. And I said that I could cancel the lease at any time and I could transfer to anyone without them being qualified. And if they want to cancel it, they could, and we don't have to pay the remainder of the lease if we cancel before the end of the term. So I put that out there. They're very favorable terms in terms of my side, very favorable. But they don't have much to go on their side. They have solar panels on my roof. They're being used. They're not pushing to provide a lease that's even somewhat in my benefit. They're just saying we want the existing lease. They've also said that those are our solar panels. So what I said to them is that in the next 21 days, if you do not come to some type of conclusion with one of these two options, I'm going to be taking the solar panels off and I'll keep them in storage. And if you want them released, you're going to have to pay, I said, $6,200 to remove the panels. You're going to have to, which is my cost, I'm saying. It said additionally is $4,100 to pack them up. In addition, $200 a day for storage. So once that's done, they're going to be owing me, I don't know, $30,000, which is probably the cost of the panels. And I said to them also is that after 45 days from after I take them off, I'm going to petition the court to take off the lien on those solar panels so I could sell them and or auction them off. So right now on the solar panels there's a what's called a UCC lien. It says basically someone can't take those solar panels and sell them. They can but if someone doesn't check the lien, they could technically sell them, but they still might be liable. But what I'm going to say is basically that I'm going to petition the court to reimburse me for all the money that was expended to remove the panels, pack them, and store them. And I want the lien released so I could sell them or auction them off. So with that being said, is that basically the solar panel company will have zero back. They'll get zero back from it. So if they're want to continue not to do something, this is going to be the ramification. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to do something as a result of this. So I'm pretty sure of that. But we'll see. But I sent the certified letter and I sent an email as well. So I'm anxious to find out what's going to go on because, they want to play games like this. That's fine, but you're not going to play them with me. It's really simple. They take advantage of all these people. So I have no mercy for them. Another thing is that we're getting a septic also installed in this property, and there's challenges with that as well in terms of the township. But I'll have to discuss that next week. But thank you very much for everything. I hopefully you had a great Labor Day. I didn't have a recording last week. I was tied up, unfortunately, but I hope that everyone has been safe since this storm and just you're all well with your family and stuff. Again, you could reach us at 973-240-8593. Wish you the best. Take care. God bless. Bye.